In the last video, we talked briefly about the brush tool, and I want to get back to that and do some actual painting here. So I'm just going to, I don't want to save that. I'm going to create a new document. And if you notice what I did there, I copied, I used some keyboard shortcuts, and it really wasn't going to be part of the lecture, but it might as well be. I selected all of the document by just hitting Command A. Again, this is a Mac keyboard shortcuts. And to do that, I just went to select all, but I used the keyboard shortcut. And then I did copy, which is Apple C. And whatever the pixel dimensions are, whatever I just copied, if I create a new document, right after copying a certain amount of pixels, the new document screen will set its width and height and resolution to the width, height, and resolution of the pixels that I have in the that I just copied. So I'll just hit cancel and it. So now I have a blank canvas to paint on. Now, before we talked about the background and the foreground colors, I'm going to click on this button right here to set them back to default black and white. I could reverse them if I wanted to by clicking on this little button. Let's go ahead and pick a color. I'm just going to pick red at random here. And let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about color. We can actually go to swatches, we can go to color, or we can, the third way to choose a color is just to click on the foreground or background swatch itself. So let's go with more of kind of maybe a purplish or a violet color there. Okay, so there we have that. And now I can paint. But first you have to hit the brush tool. There's the brush tool. And let's go ahead and set our size and hardness. I'll set that to 50%. And I'll set the size, I'll leave that at 50%. But the next thing I want to show you, because we're getting more in-depth into brushes, is that you have all types of other brushes. As a matter of fact, there are brushes that you can load. There are free brushes all over the internets. Whatever. So you don't have to just constrain yourself to a round shape. To tell you the truth, I'm not even sure what that is. It's airbrush, low quality grainy. Let's try that. Okay, that's kind of cool. And I'm just going to hit undo. And I can use speckles. And you can use the bracket tools above the enter or return button on your keyboard as shortcuts to increase the size or decrease the size of your brush. So you can get all kinds of really cool special effects with that. And believe me, you're going to be doing that. Again, if you have any questions at all, please give me an email. Let me know what I can clarify for you. But I'm just going to show you some of these brushes right through here. You've got brushes that look like paint brushes. So brushes, definitely something amazing here. This is, I believe, if I remember correctly, a brush tool for grass. Yes, this is for making grass. So if I was to change that color, let's go back over here and want kind of dark green, and I want to lower that a bit. And I honestly have no idea where I got this from. But if I wanted to paint grass, and I think I used this somewhere to make a grass texture. I wish I could remember where it was to give credit where credit is due. Now I'm painting the grass that you and I both love to mow. And I am so sorry that I can't remember where I got this from. Think of it, I will let you know, but I'm certainly not taking credit for it myself. Alright, actually I'm going to go ahead and select all. I'm going to delete that. It's asking me what I wanted to delete it with, and it said foreground color because I forgot. There, I don't know why it just did that. But now I'm going to paint the grass on the foreground, like I've been doing. So there's the grass up close. And I'm going to create another layer down here. I'm going to shrink it down some. Now I'm painting behind it. See what I'm doing there? Filling that in. Come back up here, try to do something about that big white space there. It's kind of attracting too much attention to itself. Then I'm going to make a third layer here. And go even smaller. Fill in. So that's grass that's way in the distance. Okay, so there we have that. And just getting way ahead of, well, actually, I don't know how it's going to do levels and blurs and whatnot just to make it all fancy. But this isn't about that yet, so we'll get to that eventually. So anyhow, that is a little bit about the brush tool. So I'm just going to get rid of all three of these layers. I'm going to select one, hold the Shift key down, select the other one, and then that'll automatically select the one in between. And then I'll just hit the trash button while those are selected, and that got rid of them all. You may get a warning sign that says, hey, do you really want to delete these layers? If you do, that's fine. Just hit yes, unless you don't want to, in which case you hit no. I just turned that warning off in my preferences, so that's why you're not seeing it on my screen. So anyhow, let's go back to brushes. Keyboard shortcut B. Well, just feel free to experiment with the brushes that you have and look for others. I'm going to go back to here. Now I'm going to go back to my brushes, and instead of painting with grass, what I've done is I've reset that. And what you can do is you can go to reset brushes. I don't want to do that because I'll never find that grass brush again. But if you want to, also you can load brushes. You can replace brushes. You can save certain brushes. And here is a list of brushes that are already installed. And you can rename the one. You can delete it. I'm not going to do this because I don't recommend messing with your brushes. As a digital artist making texture maps or web pages or whatever, textures for web pages, whatever, you're going to depend a lot on your brushes, and messing with them is a sure way, or it's about a 98% sure guaranteed way of causing yourself a lot of frustration eventually. So let's not do that. But I just wanted to show you that those are there. Also, we have some brush presets, and this is where I can turn that off. Go back to the brush tools. I'm not going to cooperate unless I do. Let me shrink this down some here. Okay, so this is a brush window, and I guess I could, if I really wanted to, put it up in here because I do use it a little bit more often than I realized before. And this is where you can set some parameters for your brushes. Brush shape, we've already talked about. Brush dynamics, size jitter. If you want to make things really chaotic looking. Let's go ahead and go back to swatches here. We'll pick the new color here. I don't know. You. Yeah, we'll pick you. And now, see how it's changing? That's size jitter. I'm just going to undo that. I'm going to go back to brush. And minimum diameter. We can do, actually, let's hit fade. I'll bring this up just a little bit more. It's not working. Oh, that's because, yeah, there we go. I forgot to set something in here. So fade, I'm going to set that, well, I'll just leave it at 25. Bring this up a little bit and watch what happens. See how it faded out? It just ended. It got smaller all of a sudden and then it ended. I'm going to make that 50. I'm going to start a little bit smaller. And you're going to get a preview of what what the brush is going to create in terms of effect down here, which is really cool. So I'll do that again. That time it was 50 steps. I believe those are called steps in Photoshop terminology. Step down 50 steps from beginning to end size. Minimum diameter, I can make that say 50%, and then it's going to end at 50% of the size instead of 0% of the size. And yeah, so it's just not going to end. I'm going to undo that. Angle jitter, I'm going to turn that up, and then I'm going to find a brush shape that's got, what I'll do is I'll make this kind of an oval by rotating, and see what we get now. So we're going to go back up to minimum diameter. I'm going to turn that down, undo what I just did. And now it's bottoming out really quick, even at 50. So I'm going to add to that. I might even make that 200. And whee! Yeah. So, I mean, all kinds of wonderful shapes that you can get. And I can turn scattering on, and I can make it both axes. And now see what I get. So I really want you to just mess around with this stuff. Texture, this one, honestly, I really don't mess with too much. But let's go ahead and try a texture here. There's some diamond plate floors that I've made. There's some scan lines that I've made. So I don't know what we're going to get here, but yeah. So, you know, again, and you can make your own brushes. I'll talk about that here in just a second. Probably in another video because I'm running out of time here. Dual brush, you're not going to see too much of. Color Dynamics, Transfer, Brush Pros. Actually, I'm running out of time, so I'll get to those here in just a little bit. You want your smoothing on. And the last thing I'm going to say for this video, because I'm actually way over time, is invest in an art tablet like a Wacom tablet. Quite a few years back, I managed to get a massive Wacom tablet. I'm sitting here looking at it on my art desk, whatever you want to call it, and it's about 2 feet by 1.5 feet. And I'm not, it's not like I'm rich. I just managed to get it at a really good deal off the Wacom site itself. They were having a one-day sale, and a coworker instant messaged me about it. So I went up to spending $200 on it. So it's not, again, I'm not rich. But yeah, invest in a Wacom tablet. Yeah, it'll run you $200 or so, but it's well worth it. And I might even do a little bit of Wacom tablet drawing here in another video. But for right now, I'm way over time.